After dominating in college and then in the NFL, Derwin wasn't able to escape injuries, and so now there are a ton of questions surrounding his future. And so now we just have to wait and see what's next.
Goes over the middle, and Gracie gets wiped out by Derwin James, the Swiss Army knife for Florida State.
Straight out of Haines City, Florida, Derwin was an absolute monster in high school, and in fact was one of the highest recruits in the nation because of it. After transferring to his hometown high school at Haines City as a senior, Derwin was not only a top 5 player in his class, but the number 1 safety, and in fact the only 5-star at the position. Usually it's the insane junior and senior seasons that get these guys a big offer, but Florida State believed in Derwin from the get-go, as they offered him a scholarship when he was only a freshman. Even though Florida State offered Derwin a full-on scholarship as a freshman, he was still the backup going into the season, but was just too good to be on the bench, as he eventually made his way to the top of the roster. Although he was new to the whole college football world, Derwin didn't waste any time as he dominated that season with 91 tackles, 4.5 sacks, 4 pass deflections, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 fumble recoveries. After such a ridiculous freshman season, the hype around Derwin was pretty crazy, even so much to the point where he was seen as a top 3 second-year player among the likes of guys like Josh Rosen and Calvin Ridley. With all the attention on him as a sophomore, Derwin was looking to impress, and things were going great until he tore his lateral meniscus and was out for over a month.
Florida State's Derwin James is out indefinitely after knee surgery today, but it was not a torn ACL.
That season was practically a wash for Derwin, as he only ended up playing in 2 games. But in those 2 games, he did his thing with 11 tackles and a pick. Thankfully for Derwin, he was granted a red shirt for the next year, and in those 12 games he was back in form with this time 84 tackles, 11 pass deflections, 2 picks, and a sack. Instead of coming back for potentially 2 years of eligibility, Derwin decided that he had shown enough and entered the NFL draft. At the combine, Derwin was on his A game with the 5th best broad jump, 6th best vertical, and 3rd best bench press among defensive backs. Fast forward a bit, and Derwin attended pre-draft visits with the Green Bay Packers and Tampa Bay Bucks, but declined a private workout with Tampa Bay as it was pretty obvious he didn't want to go there. Following his showing at the Combine and then Pro Day, Derwin was not only a projected first-round pick, but many had him going top 15. Among safeties, Derwin was top of the line, and even ranked as the 2nd best by Sports Illustrated.
The Los Angeles Chargers select Derwin James, defensive back, Florida State.
The predictions were nearly spot on as Derwin went 17th overall to the Chargers, and upon that was the 2nd safety drafted, only behind Alabama standout Minkah Fitzpatrick. As such a high draft pick, Derwin went into training camp as a starting strong safety, and although he dealt with a hammy injury, he was still able to start alongside free agent pickup Jaleel Adai at free safety. Even with the hamstring stuff in training camp, Derwin went bonkers as a rookie with 105 tackles, 13 pass deflections, and 3 interceptions. With arguably his best season since high school in the rearview, Derwin was not only a Pro Bowler, but also first-team All-Pro. Following a one-of-a-kind rookie season, the expectations for Derwin were at all-time high going into his 2nd year, until once again he was harbored with this time a stress fracture in his right foot. Unlike previous injuries, the fracture was no joke, and in fact a 3-month recovery process that kept him out of 11 games. In the 5 games that he did end up playing in, Derwin was able to put up 34 tackles and a pass deflection, and at least was able to leave a bit of an impact on the football field in the limited time span. When you think things couldn't get any worse for him, Derwin was placed on IR for the rest of the season to help repair a torn meniscus, and that was the last we have heard of a stud in LA. The term dark horse seems to be a pretty much perfect fit for someone like Derwin, a player who seems to be constantly injured. Someone like that is one of those guys that seems to have the odds against them, but keeps pushing on and will eventually get his shot to get back into the spotlight. Going into 21, things are looking up for Derwin, and he's already been fully cleared to participate in OTAs, although the same thing happened the previous season. Anyways, times have changed in LA, and now that Brandon Staley is the head coach, the team is focused on player safety, and so now we're no longer doing 11-on-11s and 1-on-1s with no pads. Instead, the drills are going to be done through walkthroughs to reduce injuries, and hopefully allow Derwin to play in 21. If Derwin is able to make it by training camp, and actually get some regular season action, it'll be interesting to see what Derwin shows up to play. Although his last full season earned him a position on the first team All-Pro, 2.5 years is a lot of time, and in that span, a lot of things have changed. Whether or not he comes back as a superstar or comes back as a dud, I think that Derwin is going to need some time to get back into his rhythm. Hopefully he is back at that superstar level soon and does his thing once again, but we gotta keep expectations level and see how it goes from there. This is what makes Derwin such a dark horse. He was an absolute monster in college, then got injured, killed it as a rookie, and then got injured time and time again. That kind of stuff doesn't just happen to anyone, and the fact that Derwin has persisted through it speaks to his character and determination to be back in his dominant form. Usually when someone has that hard-working ability and determination, they are bound for success, and so I think that with time, Derwin will be back where he once was, and now it's just a question of how long. Derwin James went from first team All-Pro to the IR, and so now it's going to be interesting to see what Derwin we get in 2021.
Derwin James, he wants the end zone. He's got it.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed, it would be awesome if you guys could subscribe, like, and comment down below what videos you want next. But anyways, see you guys soon and peace out.